Hello everybody. So, few things before I start this video. Number one, or pardon if the sound quality is not that great. I'm currently in Mexico and I don't have a lot of Wi-Fi. It goes in and out. It's super spotty, and I've noticed that it affects the sound quality of some of the footage I take, so my apologies for that. Also, honestly, I don't have any makeup on. This is a really low-key video. It is too fucking hot to put on makeup, keeping it real. And then last, the angles, I apologize for that. I don't have a stand or anything, but we're making it do, and we're gonna have fun anyway. So with that said, love you all. I'm gonna get right into this video. So where have I been? I have been trying to film this video for months. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I have at least 8 versions of this video on my phone, and for some reason, each time that I film this, it just does not come out right. And today I was determined and I felt inspired to just talk. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So where have I been for the past, I don't know, 8 months, 9 months? I've been around, let's just start from the top. So around August of 2018, I don't know if you've been watching me on Instagram or watched my stories or following me, but around that time I went to Denver and I was coming back from Denver to LA. And in the time that I was in Denver, I knew very clearly that I didn't need to live in LA anymore. I went to LA to kind of figure out what this thing called selfish revolution was or is, and I'll get into that later on in this video, like what is that now. And coming back from Denver and just having the space and the time to actually be quiet and sit in quiet, I just realized I don't want to live in LA anymore. Great place, you know, nice to visit, all that stuff, but I don't need to live there. And I also knew that I no longer wanted to go about what I was doing, selfish revolution, and going about that in the way that I was going about it. I knew that that was going to change. So I felt that in August, and in October I basically took a break. I didn't announce it very well. I just kind of dropped off of social media, and I know from getting messages from some people, some of you were concerned and you know, stuff like that, and I honestly do thank you for that. Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for caring. I will be better about announcing any breaks that I have. But yeah, that was pretty much what I did, and I took time to do 2 things. I took time, number one, because social media is a funny thing. I've always kind of had a love-hate relationship with it. For me personally, it's not that I don't want to share, it's just, I don't know, there are times with social media that I just feel like I'm playing out a Black Mirror episode, to be honest. And so I took time for that. And then number 2, and probably the main thing, I took time to figure out what the fuck I wanted to do with this information that I had. I knew I didn't want to live in LA. I knew my time in LA was ending. I knew that I wanted to change this platform that I had, Selfish Revolution. I knew that what I was talking about and the things that I was talking about were important to me, but I knew that the way I was communicating them was going to change. So I took time to do that. So I left LA in February and I moved to North Carolina, of all places. Weird, I know. But not so weird. It's one of those things where I, for the past couple of years, have decided that I'm going to live my life intuitively, and that includes listening to what intuitively speaks to me versus what makes sense necessarily. And trust me, anybody who's watching this video and has done that or is doing that can say it is such a weird thing sometimes, because what you're intuitively guided to do makes no sense and is usually quite different from what you thought you were going to do. So I moved to North Carolina, number 1, because I was guided to, and also number 2, to be closer to one of my closest friends. Cam, if you're watching this video, I love you. Moving into North Carolina was a much more comfortable space. It was slower, things were cheaper. And I was closer to my best friend, and we actually ended up living in the same city. So that was beautiful and amazing. Now, while I was in North Carolina, I started to feel very, very strongly that my time in the United States was ending. Kind of that scene in the Truman Show where Truman is in the boat, he's in the water, and he gets to the end of the set, and he kind of puts his head against the wall, and he realizes, wait a second, there's no further I could go. I can't go any further here. And he ends up walking out the set, walking out the door. That's the best way I can describe it. And I was in North Carolina for about 3 months, and I could feel that it was coming to a close. It was coming to a close. And again, to use that word, I felt intuitively moved, guided, however you want to say it. I don't want this to become a cliche word. I felt like I needed to move to Canada, and I thought that I was going to move to Canada in the beginning of January, but that was just part of the information I was receiving. I was going to go first to North Carolina and then move out of the United States, if that makes sense. So while I was in North Carolina, I did a lot of thinking, I did a lot of reflecting, and I just had space and time to do it. Yeah, so that's pretty much where I was and what I was doing, and why I kind of took time to kind of say, hey, wait a second. So now to the second part of this video. What is selfish revolution? When I was in LA, when I was in Denver, and then came back to LA, and right before I kind of took my break in October, as I said before earlier in the video, I realized that I am very passionate about what I'm talking about, but I don't need to make a business out of it. You know, I was calling myself a selfish coach, and I think that in the 2 years that I was in LA and figuring out what this thing was, this idea that I had, that worked. But as I went on with this and that word and that phrase and all of that, I realized I don't want to coach anybody. I just feel as though the best way to show you to be selfish is to show you and invite you into my life. I don't like the idea of coaching. I'm not a coach. I'm a student of the earth. I'm a human being. I'm honestly fucking up and figuring it out like the rest of us. And I think the best way to talk about that, to describe that, to discuss that, is to do just what I'm doing now, to have honest conversation and have casual conversation, you know. Now, what I will say is that there have been incidents, things that have happened along the way in my life that I can definitely be an authority on, because I have experienced that. But as far as coaching goes, I just don't feel called to that. I don't want to do it. And I just don't feel like that's the most authentic version of Nadia. This is me. No makeup on, background not perfect, probably a shit ton of background noise in the background because there's a bunch of toucans and beautiful birds around here, and yeah, this is it, you know. At first, when I started this, I thought that being selfish was so many other things, and then to come to this place that I'm at in life, I realized what it is. It's a daily decision, day by day, and it's about following ultimately what your soul needs, what makes you feel the most full, what drives you. Yeah, anybody that I would tell the story to about how I decided to just up and move would think you're crazy. You don't have savings, you don't have you know, someone that you're going with, you know, you're doing this by yourself. And yeah, to be honest with you, the first month that I set out and did this, I felt fucking crazy, and it was really, really, really hard. But at the same time, here I am 3 months in, and it's getting better. It's getting easier because I followed what I ultimately knew spoke to me. So I think the best way, to make a very long story short, just talk honestly about this selfish thing by just showing you how I am doing that, commenting honestly, and just talking about what that entails, you know? It's really rewarding, but at the same time, it's also really difficult. And I want to include that, you know, because it's really not about all, you know, Pop-Tarts and rainbows. It's just not fucking life. And I'd rather comment on it that way and invite you to go on this adventure with me. So I decided that two things. I'm not going to do Facebook. I don't like Facebook for several reasons. I'll get into another video about that. But I just feel like whenever I'm on Facebook, I kind of feel like it's like the Channel 9 news, like, hello, it's Nadia at 9. It feels, I don't know, I just don't resonate with Facebook. So what I'm going to do, two announcements. I'm going to be deleting my Facebook on September 12th. I don't know why that day popped up in my head, but it's popped up 3 times, so September 12th it is. And what I'm going to do is be on YouTube. I'm going to make a weekly video about what's going on in life, what is inspiring me, what challenges I'm running into, and put that out there as honestly, authentically as possible. Talk about stuff as honestly and authentically as possible, and put it out there so that if it inspires you, amazing. If it encourages you, amazing. That's the best way for me as a content creator to be as transparent as possible. And instead of being a coach and coaching you on something, I can just put out content, and if it feeds your soul, amazing. And if it's something that doesn't feed your soul at the moment, maybe you can revisit it, maybe it's not for you, but to just give you the ultimate choice. So I'm going to be deleting my Facebook on September 12th. You can find me on YouTube. I'll be doing a weekly video, a weekly set video where I talk about a specific topic, a set video, and then I'm also going to launch a vlog channel, more off the cuff, kind of more like this style, and just follows me around doing stuff, you know? Yeah, and I think that's, for right now, the best way for me to communicate my message and for me to communicate. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on here. And yeah, just traveling, going along, and just living my life as I want you to do. I want you to live your life. And like I said, it wasn't a glamorous decision. It's not like I have $10,000 in the bank. I do not have rich parents. I don't even have, I have no family that would support or fund this, and I don't want them to. It's not their decision to do. But here I am 3 months later, still doing it. So that's the first piece of selfish advice I can give. When you feel called to do something, I can tell you this for a fact. You're being told, called, guided, however you want to say it, for a reason, and you will be met with the other 50%. You show up 50%, you're going to get met with 50%, and then you get to go and make your own way with that. So yeah, this is first video down. Love you all. Again, I'm super sorry. There is this bird that is just super talkative out here. Sorry about the background noise, but like I said, I'm in a beautiful, beautiful spot in Mexico, and there's no studio to record in, and I doubt there will be for a while, because that's not how I'm traveling right now. So it is what it is. Love you all. See you soon. Talk to you soon. Mwah.